Okay. Good evening. I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this episode. This is a short one. It's not a full-on Chiraq war one like the one we did yesterday. So it won't take very long. This is episode 2. It is basically the story of KTS Vaughn, aka Cutthroat the Smoker. So we'll start off with per usual, the upbringing and sets that he is affiliated with. His name is Devon Davis. Everyone call him KTS Vaughn because he is a part of KTS, uh, the set KTS, which is short or acronym for Kill to Survive. Kill to Survive. So he was born in Chicago on December 1st, 1993. Vaughn is also brothers with KTS Dre, and he also has another brother named Vinny. He's born like into the GDs because KTS Vaughn's father, Big Vinny, was a GD as well. Vinny is no longer with us. KTS Dre is no longer with us, and KTS Vaughn is no longer with us. Just a year after KTS Vaughn was murdered, a guy named Devontae murdered Vaughn's dad, Vinny. He was in a car with a young lady, and Devontae Murray came and sprayed the car, and the young lady was shot as well, but she survived. But KTS Vaughn's father, Vinny, did not. Okay. KTS Dre being the oldest of the siblings. If you guys don't know who KTS Dre is, he'll be a part of this story. Hey, Anthony, he'll be a part of this story, but he is not a really, really significant part, but he is KTS Vaughn's brother. They are blood brothers. So allegedly they used to be Lakeside, but because of their dad and because of his GD affiliation with they start hanging around on 75th and Cottage. Hi, Haitian Princess. 75th and Cottage is KTS territory. So of course they became KTS, Kill to Survive. So when they essentially became KTS, they had always been GDs. We talked about GDs and BDs yesterday, and O Block being mostly BDs and Tuckerville being mostly GDs in yesterday's story. So basically, Vaughn started off robbing people, and we're not talking about King Vaughn. We're talking about KTS Vaughn. I will try to refer to him as much as I can as KTS Vaughn so that he will not be confused with King Vaughn. So he started out robbing people, and he's robbed a lot of people that were from an opposing set called No Limit. Now it's called NLMB. Some people say now it stands for Never Leave My Brother, but it really stands for No Limit Muskegon Boys. So if I speak of NLMB or No Limit, that is, or No Limit Muskegon Boys, those are all one of the same. That's the same set. But I probably refer to them as No Limit most of the time. Hey, So Bomb, and some of the familiar names in No Limit is G Herbo and Lil Bibby. They both are rappers. So, Vaughn was known for robbing people. One of the people he was really known for robbing was NLMB Greg. That's in NLMB is No Limit, and he got a name for that. People started knowing him for that. And then also in that same year, which was 2011, when he was robbing people, is when he caught his first body. So he was alive with Lakeside, like I said, and he was cool with a lot of people from Pocket Town. And we're gonna eventually probably do a story on Pocket Town as well because Pocket Town has a lot of people and a lot of shooters. Vaughn could not stand in their limb. KTS is not close with No Limit, their opposition. I'm pretty sure it's still the same way now, but that's how it was back then. But also, what I'm hearing now is that KTS is essentially damn near extinct. I don't know how true that is, and if there's anybody that's from Chicago or very well versed in Chicago drill, then they can drop that down in the comments on the replay, or if you're in the bushes, you can let me know. But I heard that KTS is damn near extinct. but I knew that they were known to be a smaller set, but they didn't have a lot of hustlers in that set. They were a set that had a lot of shooters. So essentially, when you have a lot of shooters and not a lot of hustlers, there's not a lot of money being made, but there's a lot of bodies being dropped. Also, being a smaller clique, it's like you're harder to find. It's easier for you to catch. Like, say you a set and it's only 10 of y'all, and then you got this set over here and it's 100 of them. 9 out of 10, y'all gonna drop more bodies on this bigger set because they just gonna be easier to find somebody from that set because it's a bigger set. That's kind of how KTS was compared to No Limit or NLMB. It's a really big set. Like NLMB is still a big set. So, um, like I said, G Herbo and BB are part of NLMB. So KTS was mainly shooters. Now Pocket Town was an ally there. Like I said, we're going to eventually have to talk about Pocket Town in one of these episodes. Pocket Town was a money making set like NLMB, and it was also a large set, which Pocket Town still is a set to this day. But they also had a lot of shooters as well, as opposed to NLMB. They had more hustlers than shooters, and from my understanding, and from the research I did back in 2011, they did not have just a shitload of shooters. NLMB was really about making their money. Okay, 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Kids, y'all know what it is. Okay. So Pocket Town was a money making set, had a lot of shooters. Lil Les, I talked about him briefly yesterday. Lil Les, I think he had like 12 bodies or something like that. Allegedly, Lil Les is part of Pocket Town. We're gonna have to do an episode on him as well. Lil Les is actually one of the few guys that is still living, but he's incarcerated. I don't think he gets out to like 2030. Hey, Nikki Boo. So basically, KTS essentially had a beef with a lot of gangs. Like we could probably do an episode one day called KTS versus everybody because they always like that would have to be a full weekend segment because they don't like 300, they don't like O Block, they don't like No Limit Muskegon Boys, aka NLMB, they don't like THF 44. The list goes on and on. They don't like Sircon City. Sircon City gangsters have been around for a really, really long time. That's one of the older sets. So we can't forget about them either because a lot of people are saying either some people are allegedly saying that there are people from Sircon City that are responsible for KTS Vaughn's death. But then we'll get into the speculation when we get to that. So let's go ahead and discuss the beginning of KTS Vaughn's reign of terror. So this is April 9th, 2011. Remember I told y'all he caught his first body in 2011. 23-year-old Michael Lee, nickname is Gotti, aka Gotti, was sitting in his car on South King Drive when KTS Vaughn pulled up in a car and shot Gotti in the head. They even mocked this guy, which is so sad. They mocked Gotti after he was shot. A lot of these guys were getting t-shirts made that said, "Don't go Gotti." You know, like making fun of him. And of course, Gotti World was formed. And like I told y'all, a lot of times there will be a certain set, and then a beloved member's life will be taken, and then that set will name their set after that person. AKA just like O Block, we talked about O Block yesterday being named after O.D. Perry, and we talked about Tukaville being named after Tuka. Same thing with Gotti World. So they mocked him with the "Don't Go Gotti" shirts. So it was kind of like chill for Vaughn. He was still terrorizing people, but he wasn't catching no bodies. But a year later, not even a full year, but like 10 months later, Vaughn caught two more bodies. Now, on February 20th, 2012, members from No Limit, you're going to keep hearing No Limit because Vaughn terrorized No Limit. Members from NLMB, No Limit Muskegon Boys, were standing outside a liquor store on 79th. Vaughn and some other KTS members sprayed the crowd. Vaughn had a Tech 9. Okay, so NLMB Rock, a man and a man named Alamo were both killed. G Herbo, Wet 'em Up, and Pharaoh were all there, and they were also struck with bullets, but they survived the attack. So KTS Vaughn was really fucking terrorizing people. He was not playing with these people at the fuck all. So Alamo, this was kind of sad to me because Alamo, all of it is sad, but this kind of hit me in a place because Alamo was known, his real name was Gregory, and he was a 57-year-old man. He was a former gang member. He was just going to the store allegedly, and he was claimed to be an innocent bystander. Now there's some people saying, oh, he was in a gang and stuff like that, but according to the streets and according to what a lot of people are saying, he was no longer an active member. He was just like an OG. So that's sad. He was 57 years old and he was hit and he was killed. And that's his name was Alamo. And also in No Limit Rock was killed. Now we're going to talk about this big incident, right? Now, the thing that these guys in Chiraq used to do that used to baffle me is they used to put everything on Twitter. They used to film their crimes. And it's just a wonder that the police never would catch them. The streets would just always catch up with them. You know, and a lot of times they put stuff on the internet and they wind up giving away locations and that's how they get killed, or they mocking someone on the internet and then someone wants to retaliate. But so all of this stuff is on film. And I think you could probably find it on YouTube still. It's called No Lacking Part 3, I think it's called. So this is the McDonald's incident. A lot of people in Chicago, I'm sure, know about this. So KTS, Vaughn, Dre, and Pasto. This is another name y'all gonna hear a few times. Pasto. So NLAV Kobe, and also they went up to 17-year-old No Limit Cairo. Tried to get Cairo to say fuck Rock. Now keep in mind, KTS Vaughn has already killed Rock along with Alamo, and also shot Wet 'em Up and G Herbo, but they just didn't die. Dre, at this point, Dre comes up to Cairo and tries to get him to say fuck Rock. Now, I gotta say, Dre is the oldest out of the siblings. This kid probably had a good 10-year difference with Dre. And of course, he was being a bully. So when Cairo refused to say fuck Rock, Dre broke Cairo's jaw, basically. Hit him so hard that he broke his jaw with his knothead ass. I really try to be unbiased in these stories because at the end of the day, all of these people is somebody's son, somebody's brother, somebody's dad. And you know, it's really sad, but that one guy there, it is something. It's them two guys there, Jesus Christ. If it wasn't some people in this world that needed the Lord, them was the one. I'll say that. So then another guy, one of Cairo and Kobe's friends, Moody, came out of the bathroom and he was strapped. When they left, No Limit, Moody, Kobe, and Cairo started shooting at the KTS members, which the only ones that I can see that are confirmed that was there was Pasto, Dre, KTS Vaughn. So they start shooting at them because they done assaulted they friend, you know, broke his jaw. And what's so crazy is it's all on film, and KTS, Dre, and Pasto, they running, and KTS Vaughn is like basically walking and laughing as he's being shot at. This dude was out of his mind. And Pasto actually got shot in the arm. Um, yeah, he actually got shot in the arm when that happened. So, um, also another little fact I want to throw out there is that we talked about this a little bit yesterday. KTS members was known for beating on they fucking women. KTS Rio, King Von even told KTS Rio, like, stop beating on this bitch the way that he was beating on her. And niggas didn't think it was cool. And he basically essentially told Von, mind your fucking business, worry about your people. That's what he told King Von. KTS Von didn't give a shit about KTS Rio hitting this bitch because KTS Von was hitting bitches too. He was hitting bitches for listening to G Herbo, was spitting on girls and all type of shit. Not to call them bitches, you know, they're not bitches. He was hitting these women and he was spitting on these women. I don't know none of them, so I ain't gonna call them bitches. I'll take it back. So 1 week after the McDonald's incident on October 29, 2012, Von and his brother Little Vinny, remember the dad's name is Vinny too. They were sitting outside of 33-year-old OG Big Los house. Big Los is No Limit member. Just like Alamo, Big Los was not real active or nothing like that. I don't know if y'all know, but in the Shy, if you live to be in your 30s and you're part of that lifestyle, you are OG. So they waited for him to get home, and when they spotted him, they got him. They shot him several times in his back, and he was rushed to the hospital, and he was dead. Like I said, Big Los was not active, but Big Los was respected by No Limit. They was essentially just looking for anybody from No Limit to get. So on May 25th, 2018, Von and a few other KTS members were out at Sircon City. Remember, I told y'all they had a problem with every fucking body. Looking for ops. Pharaoh was out taking the trash out for his grandfather. I believe that his grandfather was like his parent. I think something went, I don't know if his parents were living or not, but I think he was like adopted or was raised by his grandfather, or his dad was like much older than him. He was taking out the trash for his pop, and they saw him, and they shot him multiple times in the head and in the face. And Von teased him a lot on Twitter and was calling him fry face. That nigga just did not have no morals, to the point to where his girlfriend, Pharaoh's girlfriend, was like really upset and basically telling KTS Von, like, I hope you die, on Twitter, because he was calling him fried face. And he was, like I said, he was shot multiple times in the face. So let's see. On August 10th, 2013, y'all remember Kobe. Kobe is the guy from the McDonald's incident. He was one of the ones that was shooting at them. So he was hanging with G Herbo and a bunch of other NLE, I'll just say No Limit, with a bunch of NLMB No Limit members when he decided to walk home. He didn't want to get a ride, so he walked home. Kobe got near that very same McDonald's where the incident happened at, where Cairo's jaw was broken by KTS Dre. And KTS Rio, Von, and also Pasto pulled up and shot Kobe up. Pasto was the driver, and they shot him from the moving vehicle. And once he fell to the ground, Pasto parked the car, got out, and shot Kobe multiple times in the face. They saying that Pasto was the one that did that. So on November 18th, Pasto was released from jail. Pasto had went to jail apparently. On November 18th, if y'all hear snoring, that's my little sister sleeping in my bed. On November 18th, Pasto got out of jail. And on November 23rd, No Limit, Crazy James, and Mad Max, and we will be doing a story on Mad Max for sure. And Mad Max ran up on Pasto on East 80th Street and shot him a few times in the head. Pasto was rushed to the hospital and he did not make it. So he did what he did to Kobe on August 10th, and they by November 23rd, Posto is dead and gone. All right, so there were some rumors also in 2015 that KTS Bond had taken two innocent people's lives, people that were not gang affiliated, people that didn't have anything to do with anything, but they were either in the wrong place at the wrong time. And supposedly he's known to not leave witnesses and stuff like that. But that's crazy to me that you don't want to leave witnesses, but then you will go on Twitter and tweet about stuff that you do that's illegal. And you will go on Twitter and taunt the dead and stuff like that, but you don't want to leave witnesses. But all of that is allegedly. And out of respect for the innocent, I will not go into detail. And also, these are also speculation. So I won't go into details, but it is safe to say that he just did not have any regard for human life. Um, he's allegedly responsible for 8 bodies. So a little bit later, Crazy James actually spotted Vaughn. Vaughn had wound up going to jail again, and then when he got out, Crazy James spotted him, and same Crazy James that killed Pasto. And he shot Vaughn in the chest. It was really close to his heart and close to like some main arteries, but he miraculously did survive. He did not die, but No Limit did want him dead. So you all know most thugs end up living by the gun and dying by the gun, living by the sword, dying by the sword. On June 23rd, 2015, Vaughn will get his turn. So KTS Vaughn, it was his time to die by the gun since he had been living by it so long. But that Vaughn was allegedly drugged out on pills, walking on South Ellis Avenue alone, and he was shot multiple times in the body and the head. Now, allegedly, the person that is rumored to have shot him multiple times in the head was Mad Max. They're also saying that No Limit Chopper was there and was one of the shooters as well. Also, after KTS Bond met his demise and his life came to an end, rest in peace to all these people, because just about every person I talked about today is no longer with us. Even KTS Dre, and I'll tell y'all about that too in just a sec. But yeah, and Mad Max started going by Mad Max Cutthroat or Mad Max the Smoker, which is what Vaughn called himself. And a lot of times when people in Chicago would take somebody's life, they would take their name too, just as another form of disrespect. So, like I told you guys, a year after KTS Vaughn met his demise, then King KTS Vaughn's dad, Big Vinny, was also shot and killed while he was sitting in a car with a 22-year-old female. I think he was in his 50s. And the female survived. And then after that, KTS Dre was being released from jail. And as soon as he stepped foot out of jail, I believe he was with his grandmother and his mother. It was two females. Two female family members were there to pick up KTS Dre from jail, I'm imagining, or I'm assuming. And he was gunned down right there in front of that jail where he was released. So it's safe to say that these guys, these two brothers from KTS, definitely terrorized their city for a while. For a good 4 years, KTS Bond was dropping bodies between 2011 and 2013. I think he had killed 6 people. So that was the end of that. KTS Bond is gone. Or rest in peace to him. Rest in peace to Pasto. Rest in peace to Kobe. Rest in peace to KTS Dre. Just all of these guys. I can't say too many of these guys from this story are living. I can't even think of many that are. So it's really unfortunate, and unfortunately, all of these stories that are involved in the Chiraq series, every episode, you are going to see an ongoing trend of get back. This side don't like that side. This side drops one person. That side got to come back and drop somebody. And what they essentially do is they just slide through neighborhood. And when they slide, they just looking for ops. And it don't matter who you are, you could get killed just for being outside. That's what happened to Tuka. He wasn't no killer or nothing like that. He was a kid. But they knew that he was loved in that neighborhood, and that neighborhood was their opposition. And in order to get to that hood, they want to turn that hood into your name. They that's what they say in Chicago. We turn niggas into hoods. You get turned into a hood, essentially, that means that you were killed by your opposition and your hood is named after you and after your death. So that was the story of KTS Bond versus essentially No Limit in LMB, but basically every fucking body. And I'm still working on the Get Back Gang notes. Y'all know that. Now that one is a long one. So I'm working on that, and we'll get to that. I want to do it this weekend, but I'm not going to guarantee that I'm going to do it this weekend. But when I finish with my notes, I'm going to set aside some time to do the Get Back Gang story. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this story about KTS Bond. I know this was a late one. I had a lot to do today, and even though this one was short, it's still like 5, 6 pages of notes here. Like it really be a lot of shit intertwined into these stories. So please like the video, hit thumbs up if you're on the replay. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Good night. I love y'all. Everybody stay safe. If you live in Chicago, my heart goes out to you. And God damn it, if you was ever involved in a gang in Chicago and you're still alive, God bless you. And I hope you continue to breathe and live and do well and strive. But it seems like it's a hard thing to do just to survive in Chicago, especially back between like 2010 and 2015. It was really hectic. A lot of stories we talk about will be around that area. But okay, good night, you guys.